What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Horror Nights Unscripted, a podcast themed to Halloween Horror Nights in an unscripted way. My name is Scott from SoCalExploring.
And I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And we are back. We haven't uploaded for like a week and a half for Horror Nights Unscripted, so it feels good to be back. And what episode are we on, Losh?
This is number 10. This is a big 1-0, man.
This is number 10. Oof. I can't believe we've been doing 10 episodes in a, what is it? I'd say a month span. Yeah, like a month span. No, a month and a half.
More or less. Month and a half span, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And we've already grinded out 10 episodes for you guys, where we were originally only planning to have like maybe 3 done by this time. So it feels nice. And
yeah, it's crazy. The other day I listened to our first podcast over and we said we were going to do a monthly podcast.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we would have stuck to that.
That would be interesting because not a lot of people would know who we are then.
Exactly.
Now it's like you guys have formed such a good fandom for this podcast. I'm really happy about it.
Yeah.
And it feels nice. You know, it does feel, we appreciate your comments a lot in the comment section on Instagram. Like they do make us happy, and we try to notice them as much as possible and like post them on our Instagram stories. So if you guys want to be featured on our Instagram stories or just support the channel, leave a nice comment down below because the Lord knows we need positivity right now.
Yeah. Positivity is key.
So in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Losh's. He went out to opening day, not past holder day, but opening day of Universal Orlando, and we want to talk about how Universal is prepared and exactly how Universal Orlando is preparing for Halloween Horror Nights 30, and like, will they be prepared? But before we dive into that, let's promote our socials. Where can they find us on Instagram and Twitter?
So on Instagram and Twitter, you can find Scott at SoCalExploring Media. And then for me, it's LoshTV on Instagram. And then King Losh on Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we both have merchandise shops. I just switched mine to T Public. I know Losh was saying T Republic in the vlog.
I know.
It's T Public.
It's funny. Every time I search it up, I'm like, wait, no, that's not right.
You always put Republic.
Yeah, every time. Like, this isn't right.
But I have switched over to T Public, so it's www.tpublic.com/user/SoCalExploring, and then for Losh's, it is teespring.com/stores/LoshTV. And on T Public, we sell masks now, so you can buy yourself a Horror Nights Unscripted mask for, I think it's $10 now. And I already ordered like 3 masks, and one of them being Horror Nights Unscripted. So once I get that one in and we film a podcast, I'll show you guys what that looks like, so you know the quality that you're getting. But they're really good quality. Who sent us out some free masks as of recently?
HHN Updates, and there's some pretty cool masks. I actually gave one of mine to a scare actor friend of mine who's a really close friend. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I gave him my Beetlejuice mask because I have a big head, so cloth masks and me don't get along.
Yeah. And they are they're not small, they're just like regular size. So if you prefer the bigger mask, then I wouldn't recommend buying them. But if you prefer just regular size, they're actually quite stretchy. The cloth, like, you can stretch. They're not just like stiff, you know. But definitely if you have a bigger head, like Adrian says, then they're probably not for you. But they are comfortable. I've worn them out for about 2 hours in a row, and they're pretty comfortable. And that's not just me saying it to get you to go buy them. It's just like the demand for masks is going to be there. Once the theme parks open up, like all the theme parks, you're going to need to wear a mask. So
yeah, that's true.
Speaking of which, I would dive us into our topic. How was it like walking around with a mask all day?
So honestly, I think working at a essential job and having a mask on really helped, because it didn't feel like I was wearing a mask. It didn't feel like I had anything there. It just felt like a normal thing. Like we said before, the new normal.
Did you get hot at all?
Actually, no. So here's the thing. I went 2 days. I went opening day and then the day after. So Friday, Saturday. On Saturday, the only rides I was worried about wearing the mask on were the water rides. And they told us to take them off as soon as we sat down, like if we wanted to.
Really?
Yeah, and that was super convenient.
Did you? Because you said Dudley Do Rights was closed, right?
No, okay. So when I was gonna ride it earlier in the day, it was closed, and then I went back and they were open. I don't know if they were doing like a conventional cleaning, because I know with Popeye, this was so weird. We went back to go look at the Jurassic Park construction on this was Saturday, and the water was gone. I was like, what the heck? I thought I was going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we went back, like after we did Jurassic Park, the water was there. So I don't know if they're draining the
Oh,
water.
so you rode Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying Popeyes was. That's interesting. But
But
was
they put
there?
the water back and I
This
went
was when
on.
tornado. This was when the tornado was happening, though, right?
It was so there was no rain yet. It was just warnings, nothing in our area yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was more north of us or south. It was more south of
Okay.
us
That's
at the
odd
time.
then. But so all the water rides, they just said you can take them off though.
Yeah, whenever we sat down, they were like, "Oh, just you can take off your mask if you feel comfortable."
That's gonna be nice then. Hopefully, I would like just be able to take off my mask for riding Jurassic World the ride down here,
Yeah.
and whatever Disney. I don't know if Disneyland's obviously we can't talk about anything Disney related yet because it's not open. But that's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting to see if those theme parks do that. I don't know. You should test it out once you go out to SeaWorld Orlando sometime this week or next week.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Losh is
true.
gonna
SeaWorld opens this week. That's right.
yeah.
That's right. I'm
So
gonna go
whenever
on.
Losh makes it out there, you guys will see a vlog from that as well. And I guess we'll figure out that theory of do you require to wear a mask on a water ride?
We'll see. But
Hopefully not though.
I had my own. I went on The Simpsons and I had my own cart. No one else was in my cart. I still had to wear my mask.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was like,
well, it's like I guess since like they want to keep your germs inside, like if you're coughing all over the lap bar or something, I don't know, I can see that. But then again, you can make the same argument. You can cough all over the lap bars on Jurassic Park.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of weird because I'm sitting with other people. Like, granted, there's 6 rows, and they had us in 1, 3, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what if someone on that exact row, like that exact cart, was coughing the whole time, or they were sneezing? It's weird.
Were the water effects on for Simpsons or any effects?
No. So the only effect that was on that I noticed was the baby, like the scent,
Mm-hmm.
like the
When
baby powder
baby
smell.
Marge or not baby Marge, I forget, or Maggie.
Maggie, when Maggie puts
picks
you in
up
your
the-
mouth,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's the only really effect that was there. I mean, like for ET too, the water effects were off, and the fog effects.
Oh, fog too. That's it's interesting. I'm
Except
curious on how they sanitize the water rides in because water is getting all over those ride vehicles still.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're like drying them down with a towel and stuff.
That's why I was thinking if that's why they drained the water in Popeye,
Uh-huh.
and that's why Dudley Do Rights was down as well. I wonder if it's because they were draining the water and then putting the water back. I know it's gonna cost them more, but that's what it looked like they did for Popeye.
They're gonna lose a lot of money if they just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of electricity to power up those big like water jets that supply the water on and off. That's gonna be interesting though. So I guess that brings us to our topic of will water effects happen at Horror Nights? What do you think?
Honestly, it's about what 4 months away. 3 months away.
3 months. What are we 6?
Wow.
And then 9. Yeah, 3 months. So
Wow.
9 is September. Yep, 3.
Yeah. So 3 months and 2 days till opening night. I want to say we might have some water effects, but I don't think we'll have much. Like, not a consistent thing.
Like, obviously not as long. I mean, I don't know how it was for Orlando last year because I wasn't there, but for Hollywood, it's like we had a shit ton of water effects. I don't know about you guys.
We had a few, not that much either. We had like the rain effect before you went into monsters and stuff like that.
There was a rain effect before you went into monsters?
Yeah, and like the graveyard looking scene with all the stones.
Yeah.
It was raining there, and then we had the guest activated trigger in Killer Clowns. That was water.
I don't know. I definitely think that we're gonna have somewhat for Horror Nights 30. I think we'll have water effects, but for Hollywood, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think HHN 2020 is gonna have water effects over there.
Yeah, sorry, I was moving, guys. I was kind of plugging my phone real quick. As far as social distancing, how was that? Was it hard to maintain?
Okay, the only thing I was worried about was Hagrid's when it came to social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, they knocked it out of the park because they had the markers every 6 feet. They had a team member almost everywhere telling you this is how to do it. Follow the guidelines, and it was done pretty well, surprisingly.
Were people following it like throughout the whole park? Like were people
Yep,
following it? Yeah, they were.
everywhere,
Because
everywhere.
I
And I was,
saw I saw a picture from AP Day where it was like nobody was following it, but that was AP Day
yeah,
and APs are
yeah,
kind of
AP Day,
snobs.
um, yeah, yeah.
But that's good to hear that they were doing it on the public, because obviously that's what we're gonna need um, to stay. I mean, I just so basically, it's gonna be really interesting to see how much people follow it, continuing on, because I don't, it's people are gonna follow it right now, but you also got to realize like if people don't follow it, then that forces the state to close that theme park down, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the theme parks that get to say it's the state. So
Yeah.
here's a hoping that people follow it. How do you think that social distancing is going to work out? Like, do you think guests were going to follow it more during Horror Nights?
That's the thing with what I noticed this past weekend, because I went both days. Um, a lot of people were following it, but I didn't see that many teenagers, and that's the main issue at Horror Nights. Those teenagers that always, like we talked about in
Hmm.
the last podcast, talking about with your old video.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
those teenagers are the problem. But besides that, as long as everyone stays true, it should be fine. It'll just be the kids.
And yeah, how many kids? Like, did you see a lot of kids
Mm-mm.
or
I,
teenagers for that matter?
teenagers, not really. It's like I was literally expecting to pull up and not be allowed into the park
Mm-hmm.
because of capacity.
Yeah, because
And
that's what I thought from AP days.
because I was gonna go on AP day, but I had to work,
Mm-hmm.
and AP day looked like a madhouse.
Yes, I'm glad you didn't go on that day.
Yeah, I would have cried. But I think it'll work out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how when they let the teenagers in, how many are gonna follow. Um, it's gonna be interesting. It really is gonna be interesting to
The
see that.
interesting thing is gonna be like when Horror Nights, like every night, they have to close the park down, let everybody out.
Uh-huh.
The line outside of the park, that's what has me worried.
Oh yeah. I get what you're
Because
saying.
that's literally a giant pit of people every year.
What about parking and temperature screening? Is all just run smoothly, just like City Walk?
Super smoothly. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same line.
And that was for the both days. Obviously, it was a tad bit busier on a Saturday, but that was for both
Yeah.
days, like super smooth.
hmm
And
And then speaking about super smooth, the virtual queues,
yes, yeah, I was gonna get to that because I heard that there's much success with that.
so good. So I'm someone that hates waiting in a line, like a long line.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that I had a return time for Hagrid's available, I jumped on it
Yeah, you got to.
about 3 times. Yeah.
Were there like when did you okay, explain exactly how the virtual because I'm new to it, right?
All right.
And
All right.
I know it, but like explain it step by step.
So you open the Universal app. I know you can't see it. You
Mm-hmm.
open the Universal app. You go to, oh no, it's okay. You go to Universal app. There's a little 3 lines in the top left corner. You press those and you go to virtual line experience.
Okay.
From there, you have to log in. Make sure your ticket is linked to the app. Okay, and then you go to virtual line venues, and you have the rides that are available are Fast and Furious, Hagrid's, Forbidden Journey, Race to New York starring Jimmy Fallon, Revenge of the Mummy, and then Skull Island. All you do is you press it, you go to reserve. Of course, it's gonna say I can't see it.
Yeah.
It says sorry, none available at this time, and that's because the park's closed.
Mm-hmm.
But normally it'll give you like maybe 5 to 6. If you get there early, 5 to 6 things. Later in the day, 2 or 3. And you just put the amount of people that are in your party, press on that, and then go forward.
So how many are you allowed to make?
You can make up at a time. I noticed that it was 2.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I had one for Hagrid's, and then I made one for Forbidden Journey, and it works like the Disney Fast Pass system. So you can't have the same time frame.
So are you still able to wait in general though, or can you like do
Not for those
virtual?
attractions.
Not for
Not
those.
for well, for Fallon you could, and for what was the other ride? Fast and Furious you could.
See, that's gonna be
But the
interesting because I saw how dead some of those rides were, and I was like, you'd think that they'd still let people wait in general.
yeah, I mean, I see them slowly phasing it in
Yeah, just like a step by step.
because maybe they can utilize the single rider line as the virtual queue line
Yeah.
because they're not using the single rider line.
I mean, they probably won't for months.
Exactly, and they can just convert that for now
Yeah.
and then see how that goes.
It's good to know that the virtual line was going easy though, because about how many, like for Hagrid's, for example, when did you book that?
Okay, so I got to the park like 9:45,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Damn, I didn't know there was virtual queue." I had a friend of mine tell me that there was virtual queue,
Yeah.
and I was like, "All right, cool." So he's like, "They were all gone when I checked," but I went and I looked, and it was just right there. It was at like 10:30, like the
And
time,
I
and
was
then
watching a couple other vlogs and people were like, "Oh yeah, there was like 4 different times like and within an hour for Hagrid's, which is interesting."
if you constantly check, I'm pretty sure it's every 30 or 20 minutes.
It's like the Fast Pass Plus. For those
hmm
of you guys who are familiar with Walt Disney World's Fast Pass system, it's a little bit different compared to the Disneyland one. With Disneyland, once those Fast Passes are gone, they're gone. There's some rare times where there are Fast Passes available. Like I know I've gotten a Space Mountain Fast Pass at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock when they originally said that they were sold out of them. But that's rarely. For Walt Disney World, it's more common where if you go onto the app, it could say that they're all sold out, but you can check 30 minutes later and refresh it, and there could be like 3 times available.
Yeah,
So it seems like that's how Universal's virtual line is working as well. And you said they put them up like every 30 minutes.
that's what it felt like because I checked when I went on Saturday. I was like, "Dang, I really want to go on Hagrid's because my cousin and his girlfriend have never been on it."
Yeah.
And I checked at 11, there was none, and then I checked at 11:30, and there was like 3 available.
It's going to be interesting to see how it works at Horror Nights because the park is open for a less amount of time at Horror Nights. It's not a drastic change, but it's open for a less amount of time, and obviously the demand for Horror Nights mazes and houses is a lot different than rides and attractions.
hmm
So I feel like we're gonna get the full virtual line pain when Horror Nights comes around, and right now it's gonna be kind of easy.
Yeah, it's actually. I feel like I hope they don't do virtual line for Horror Nights.
Oh, well, I hope they have both.
What I hope is they have 3 lanes:
Mm-hmm.
regular, express, and virtual. I feel like it'll
And
be
they're
more
still running
convenient.
express for rides too, right?
Yeah, all the express is running without
Okay.
a problem. Yeah, I learned that when I got hit with the tornado warning and I was on ET,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Hey, I have express," and he was like, "Doop."
Oh,
Okay,
because you
express
had
is
the
still running.
highest pass, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, rides and shows. Poseidon's Fury is like a show, right?
Yeah.
So that's running. Horror Makeup is now running as we're filming this.
hmm
Um, so that's running now. I know you'll be out there tomorrow to check
I'll
that
be out
out.
there tomorrow. I'll see if any other shows are open because I don't think I think I heard Animal Actors running or they were testing running because I heard them as I was walking past it, but I didn't
Okay,
see a showtime, so I don't know.
cool. So yeah, Horror Makeup is back. That's been the big news around everybody. Um, Maybe I'll
Fear
convince
Factor's not
Losh
going
to
to
film
open.
some highlight clips for you guys, but so you guys can see that. Um, and what would you said? Fear Factor's not open?
Fear Factor's not going to open. They have a U-Rest area there, so they're going to probably keep that close to Horror Nights.
Isn't there one in like Sinbad too, like the old Sinbad stage or something like that?
I believe so. I think it's like I don't know if it's in the stage area
Huh.
or if it's just by the restrooms.
Speaking of which, is Sinbad still like a show there?
It closed last
Oh,
year,
so the stage
like
is just like
out of
sitting
nowhere.
there?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful stage.
Yeah, it looks really nice. So you got those 2 U-brick areas, and you said there's one in City Walk too in the
There's one
video,
in
right?
City Walk, yeah, and then there's one right when you walk into Islands, like
Hmm.
straight ahead of you. Like as soon as you walk through the gate, you walk through the Adventure Begins, you walk all the way to the front of the lagoon, and it's right there.
I have a feeling people are going to use that as a smoking area during Horror Nights.
So speaking of smoking areas, they're still there.
They are.
So I was walking to go get footage of the Velocicoaster,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like, I smell tobacco like
Yeah.
straight off the bat, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is okay. Who's smoking with a mask on?
You're like, all right.
And because it's not a U break area,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a smoking area. So I'm like, so is this technically another like area that you can just take your mask off?
Yeah.
It's like it was weird. I don't know, but they still have all their smoking areas there.
That is really interesting. That's odd. That's odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with Horror Nights, um, there's been rumors going around that we are going to use the app a lot for like kind of experiencing our night, and like basically you can only go to certain houses at a certain time, and this is just pure speculation. This is nothing that Universal said.
Yeah.
But there's speculation going around that we will only be able to like say like at you get on the app and you start your night like at 7:30, and you're only able to go to certain houses to prevent the capacity from hitting max. What do you think that is? Like, what do you think about that? I'm going to pull up the article right now from Theme Park University, is the one that put it out.
Yeah.
Touch up a little
I
bit on
think
that.
I think it's a little crazy because the way everything was working the past 2 days in general for the park,
Hmm.
I don't think it's necessary. I
It
believe if you
seems like
just
it's been doing really good.
I think if you just do it for like the bigger name houses
Hmm.
per se, like your I'll go off of last year, your Stranger Things or your like
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. If you do it for something like that, it makes sense. For example, if we're going off the speculation map, something like Beetlejuice or Hill House
Uh-huh.
or the Anniversary House, stuff like that would need a queue, like a virtual queue type of ordeal, or a certain time that you can go to the house.
So I'm going to read this from the Theme Park University, and you guys can read this article as well on their website. Let's say that you want to add Universal Express to your passes. Your group will then choose a Scream name for the app, and you'll see a video message from Jack explaining how to use features of your Express passes. Next, your group will look at the screen and set up an itinerary for your evening. You'll be able to pull up all the list of all the houses, attractions, and shows and choose a time for each. It will even suggest places to stop along the way during gaps for food and beverage and merchandise locations. If a ride or house ends up temporarily closing, or if a ride or house ends up temporarily closing, question mark, it will update you and suggest an alternative. The point of the system is to keep track of where everyone is and give them a place to go, since queue lines will be virtual. So from that, with the house or attraction temporarily closing, it won't necessarily happen with houses at all. There's just no reason to shut down a house,
It will.
um, unless it was,
Sprung tense.
oh yeah, unless it's raining during for sprung tents. Then that will be used as like the multiple experiences, like for Disneyland, where it just gives you like basically some you get like a free virtual queue to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I definitely think if they'll do the virtual queue like this, which honestly, like props to Theme Park University because he's got it nailed down pretty good. I think that this could be a big chance. Um, the itinerary could work, in my personal opinion. As far as just having how it is right now and having only virtual queues available and just that's it. I don't think that'll work out because we've talked about that already, where it's like the demand for houses is going to be a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. If they do something like that, I'd see them. I know it's possibly too late, but potentially giving us another house.
Hmm.
Like I think we've discussed them having 11 houses before as well.
Well, it's not too
Where
late if you're Hollywood, you can just throw up a couple black walls and be okay with it. But
exactly black walls, and then you get some cotton and a bat. Is that what Murdy's scared of? Just do that. And
he's
then you
afraid of cotton and wooden spoons.
get
I've always said that'd make a great maze. Murdy just needs to take that on one day. Just have freaking cotton and wooden spoons. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Midsummer Scream 2018, he told everybody that his biggest fear is cotton balls and wooden spoons for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I think that I'd be fine with the itinerary thing. Um, Obviously, Express is still going to be the way to go, and that's why I bought Express for most nights that we're going to Orlando, because you don't have to go to the hassle of making itinerary and stuff. You can just
Mm-hmm.
go. So it's going to be interesting. I definitely think the itinerary thing could work out a lot better than how Universal Orlando is functioning right now, though. And they could theme it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, true.
especially
They
since
could.
it's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, they can give it to a certain icon, let a certain icon help you pick out your night, or oh shit.
You muted? Wait, can I? I think I can hear you. Talk.
I hear you. It sounds
Well,
weird. I dropped. Oh shit.
the mic unmuted. Okay. Well, Alash's mic is muted, and I'm fixing this, or or he's fixing that. Um, the way that you can theme it, right?
Hello.
Because I can hear you now. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
The way that you can theme it around like how Theme Park University is talking about is, having Jack kind of read the video message to you. You could have that, right? So with the 30th anniversary, you could have different icons telling like one explaining the houses, one explaining how the virtual line works, just stuff like that. They could turn this into some kind of immersive, not immersive, but interactive thing with the icons on the app.
Yeah, it's true. They can make it. They can also do like not the icons. They can do like the legendary truth, because they
Yeah.
did have the test. Was it 2013 or 2014? They had that whole test thing where it was basically on your phone. It was only a certain group of people, but they can do that now.
I think that'd be cool. That would be, if because we're speaking of the new normal, and if this is gonna have to be the new normal, then at least try to theme it around something. At least try to make it something cool, and I think that's what Universal is plotting right now.
Yeah,
But
I see them cooking something good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna work out good. Halloween Hornets 30 will definitely, most likely happen. Anything can happen, but it will most likely happen.
99.9%.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of YouTubers out there that, titling their videos Halloween Hornets 30 is canceled, but that's dumb. Don't listen to that. It's stupid stuff. Everyone just wants everybody just wants the views, and they're clickbaiting you, which is absolute bogus and
I hate
stupid.
that. I hate clickbait titles.
Yeah. But how because most likely, since we're having more shows open up over the days, do you think Academy of Villains will happen and like shows like that or Marathon of Mayhem? Because that was one of the big talks was we're gonna have that closed.
That's really confusing because that's a big old water effect.
Uh-huh.
And they were testing. I didn't record any of it because there wasn't anything going on the screens, like on the water jets. But they were testing the water jets when I was over there Friday and Saturday. They just had like a day show that they do every now and then.
Okay. And
it's just the music playing and the water going up. And so I think they can still do the Marathon of Mayhem. I think it can potentially still happen.
Then do you get wet like with like because I know with World of Color over here at Disneyland we get wet. Do you get wet with the Marathon of Mayhem?
Yeah, you don't get drenched, but you get like little spritz of water.
Yeah, so if anything, they just push the people back.
Exactly. They tell you you can only stand here, and we're only allowing X amount of people into this show at this time.
I think that before the conversation of Marathon of Mayhem being gone and Academy of Villains being gone was worrying, and I definitely think that it could have happened, but now I feel like most of them will happen for sure.
And after I haven't seen the shows, but I've seen like people put up pictures and stuff for horror makeup, and you just have to separate 3 seats apart.
Yeah,
it's kind of like when I went on Fallon. On Fallon, they had to separate us 3 seats apart.
Okay, which will obviously lower capacity, but I mean that's fine.
In the theater that AOV is usually in, it's a big theater.
That's Fear Factor, right?
Yeah, there's enough space to have a lot of people there. Of course, it's going to cut capacity big time, but maybe they'll do more shows and have a shorter show.
Yeah, probably shortened shows, probably more shows. And I think that if everyone follows the guidelines, more of these guidelines will ease up. So you won't have to worry about the characters and like how we're gonna keep them out of people's faces and stuff. Because I think that right now, which is odd that I'm saying this, that Florida people are actually being smart for once. Is I think people are following it. From what I've seen, from the vlog that I edited that Losh filmed, it seems like people are following it.
Yeah.
And the more people, like if you went out to the park, if you like follow the guidelines, because the more people that the state sees and the more people that like the government sees and everything, like following these guidelines, the more they'll ease up restrictions and we won't have to have plexiglass in front of scare actors in houses.
Who knows? Maybe we won't even have to wear a mask when it comes to Horror Nights time.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, maybe we won't have to wear a mask, but that's a far stretch.
But look at how much things have changed in a month in general.
I know. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like stuff is changing so fast.
Hmm.
So it's interesting, you know. But in California, at least, guidelines will be strict.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Any other things to wrap it up about your trip? Like, what are some big things that they're doing?
They had the character meet and greets were basically they were pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be separated from the characters, which so it's basically just like a selfie. And I just like how they had them set up. They had
Look like they're setting them up good.
the Transformer, whoever it is, either Bumblebee, Optimus, or Megatron. That's the same exact setup still. Like that hasn't changed. That's not gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, because they're way up here, so they're technically already 6 feet away.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo and the gang were in front of Mel's, and they were spaced out themselves and away from the people.
Okay. I noticed they were wearing masks.
They were all wearing masks. Betty Boop was standing when I went by. She was standing in front of the horror makeup show on the stage, just dancing. I was like, oh, that's cute. I felt bad. No one was in line to see her. Everyone was in line to see Scooby-Doo. And the penguins from Madagascar were over by the Central Park area. And
I noticed that they had some of the floats out with the characters on them. Did you see that?
I didn't see those. I think those were probably out either before I got there or when I went over to Islands. But I heard they were out as well.
Yeah, because with some of the character meet and greets, like even though they're not doing Superstar Parade, they bring out some of the floats and actually just have the characters there and just put a line down to where you can't walk up to the float or stuff like that. So I think that's neat. It's not an official parade. I guess it's like kind of like the cavalcade. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but whenever it rains, they do a Main Street cavalcade where it's just they bring out the characters on like one Main Street car at Disneyland.
That's cool.
So kind of like that, kind of like the same basis of that they're doing at Universal. Here comes a big question: is Universal Orlando Resort ready for Halloween Horror Nights 30?
I want to say they're getting there. They're not ready yet. They're getting there. I want to see this for a month. After a month goes by, we'll get back to this question again.
Because it does have to do with the people too. It's not just Universal; it has to do with the people.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how much this smooth process goes on once people start to become less afraid to go out to the theme parks and less afraid to travel. But I think it's I really do think that's a good answer. We need to see this for a little bit longer and see how exactly they're doing it. I personally think Halloween Horror Nights is happening, but that's not the question. The question is Universal ready? And with that being said, I have to agree with Losh on we need to see it for a couple more weeks, exactly how the process is going. That's not, like I said, that's not saying Horror Nights is going to get canceled, nor is it saying I think that Horror Nights is going to get canceled. I'm just saying, are they ready?
Yeah.
But definitely a step in the right direction. If you guys have not checked out the vlog from Lost checking out opening day, I'll link it down in the description. It's up on the SoCalExploring channel. If you're watching on LoshTV right now, it's up on the SoCalExploring channel. It's a fun vlog. We checked out Jurassic World, which is huge. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Oh my, that raptor experience. I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The new raptor encounter. That seems so
it's
cool.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And even the queue, right? Is the queue's a little bit themed?
Yeah, it's like you walk right over the queue for Jurassic Park. So you're right here, and the queue.
So you walk over it?
You can see. Well, you're not walking over it. So it's here, and you're right here. Well, it's right here, and you're right here.
It's overlapping it.
It's overlapping, so you can see people boarding the boats.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I think that the raptor encounter is so cool. And speaking of the Velocicoaster, I saw a shot of it today that I was like, because you don't see how big something is until you actually see it in person. You can see tons of construction pictures, but you don't actually know how big it is. And that's like the thing with me, and like whenever I do construction, I'm like, oh, look at that brand new update. I need to get out to the park. I'll get out to the park, and then I'll see how huge whatever's being built actually is. I saw a shot that like kind of gave me a good glimpse of like, wow, in person, this thing like looks insanely huge. Like that top hat, the big top hat turn by Misha Balov. Oh my God, that thing looks huge.
So when I walked into Islands and I looked across the lagoon and saw the whole coaster, I'm like, that's beautiful.
I can't believe that. Like, this is the next big coaster for Islands of Adventure. Get out of the way, Hulk. Like, this is the next big one. Hagrid's is big as far as like immersive experience goes, but we're talking about like big.
There's a
like, height.
coaster. This is
Yeah.
a coaster.
This is a coaster.
that corkscrew over the water too. Oh
That's
my.
so close to the freaking water. That Heartline roll. It's like so
Oh
close to
my
the water.
god.
Man, that's gonna be insane. Like it is. And I saw a lot of people complaining about exposed track. Yeah, well, shut up. Like just shut up.
Oh
If you don't
my
like it, don't
god.
go.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That's a wrap for
Yeah.
episode 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This one was a fun one. We're actually going to be filming one right after this. So stay up to date with both of our channels, LoshTV and SoCalExploring. Wherever you're watching this, subscribe to one another's channels. And we'll have episode 11 for you guys out within the next couple of days as well. My name is Scott from SoCalExploring.
I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And you've been watching Horror Nights Unscripted. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Stay safe.